What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Austin Show. Today we're looking at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Titan Wave with our Build-A-Figure of Beast Boy. So this looks really cool with a wave of Titans characters. So we have Nightwing and Donna Troy, and then behind them we have Raven and Arsenal. Again, all four members of the Titans with the Build-A-Figure of Beast Boy. So we have Beast Boy's parts with each of them. That's going to be pretty cool seeing him there in the giant form that he's going to be in. So I'm excited for this, mostly for that Beast Boy. So let me go and get these open and out of the box, and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with Nightwing, and we've looked at Nightwing multiple times before. We know it's Dick Grayson, but he brought together a group of ex-Teen Titans to become the Titans that we have for this set here, and overall he looks pretty good. I do like this costume design overall, like it, looks relatively Nightwing-ish and like the others, but there's minor changes and I do like it. So first off we have the face, which overall I don't think looks that good. Like, I don't know what it is with the faces, especially on Nightwings, they seem to have gotten worse, but I do like his little blue mask around the eyes, and then his hair design where he's even got some strands of hair that are, soft plastic, so you can kind of move him out of the way. But I like that the hair's down in his face there, and overall looks decent. It's just like the smirk on his face and stuff. It just reminds me of like David Bowie or something, so it just looks a little bit awkward. And then we have his spandex costume with, of course, the blue Nightwing logo. So I love the bird design going up into the arms that goes all the way down the hand. So I like that blue stripe running through there. It's a nice bright blue with the all black outfit that looks spandex-ish, and then all the way down to the feet where he does have a blue stripes around the bottom of the boot, which I do like because I like it adds some of that pop of color. But with the design, it also kind of makes it look like he's wearing like dress shoes or something, or some nice shoes, so kind of looks a little bit awkward there. But I do love the upper body section with especially the Nightwing logo and the blue down the arms, but everything else about it, looks just fine. But for movements, his head twists all the way around. It can look down that far and then up that far, so pretty decent range of movement. Shoulders can come up to 90 with that like butterfly joint there and rotate around. Bicep twist, double elbow joint that feels a little bit stiff but can bend all the way up on itself, with the wrist that can twist around. It has more of the blended in joints there, so it can twist around and flex at the split, so back and forth here. And then we get the ab crunch, so we have the upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth, mostly back for this, but a little bit back and forth and can twist around, as well as the lower waist, so crunch back and forth and twist around. Then the hips can come up to 90 and out to the side. You can do the splits, some thigh twist up in there, double knee joint that can bend up that far, kicking his butt, and the foot can flex back and forth, again blend in joint, so flex back and forth and twist around and side to side with the toe joint on the end. So it has all the same joints as the normal McFarlane, just better range than most figures do, so that kind of works out with him being an acrobat, so I like how it makes sense with this figure. And overall relatively good movements. Like I said, it's just some of his looks that's a little bit awkward. Now the weirdest thing about this figure, I assume because it came with the Beast Boy parts, is that he doesn't come with any accessories. So we do get the base plate, but he's standing fine without it, so we get that and that's it. No extra hands, so he has fist hands on, so you can't even have grip hands to give him his two Eskrima sticks, and he doesn't have the plates on the back to hold him or anything, so again just awkward all around. But with that, we can compare it to the other two Nightwings we've had. So here are the other two comic versions of Nightwings. Of course, we've had like the game ones and stuff, but here's the comic versions. Our original one from like the early waves of the DC Multiverse, and then the more recent one from that Bat Family 5-pack. And overall, I do have to say probably this one's my favorite, just because I love the blue and the down the arms and stuff, but I love the head on the first one the most. I think it was the best, and I think here's the progression. I hate this head the most, so it goes from the one I like the most, this one's okay, to the one I hate. So I wish you could switch them around, but the skin tones are all different. But I do like this Nightwing, like I said, body wise, just wish the head could be a little bit different. And then we have his card, so there's a picture of Nightwing there from Titans, as it says, and around on the back we have Richard Dick Grayson and the story that we've already looked at multiple times, so we don't need to read that, but you can read that if you want to there. But again, for Nightwing, looks good. I love the design of the body, just isn't a perfect figure. And then we've got Donna Troy, which was created by an Amazonian sorceress to destroy Wonder Woman, but the Amazons discovered this and gave her memory that she was actually a girl rescued by Wonder Woman and brought to Themyscira to be raised as an Amazonian. So she's very similar to Wonder Woman and was known as Wonder Girl. But similar to Wonder Woman, she has superhuman strength, speed, durability, and agility, but she also has immortality and the power of flight. So again, all very similar to Wonder Woman. And overall, she looks pretty good. I really like this design. Of course, it's one of her more modern designs, so I love the all gray and black colors. I think it stands out a lot, but there she looks good with the face. Face looks relatively decent. It's not perfect, but it's decent with the nice jet black hair, very similar to Wonder Woman, and then has the makeup all over the face, so like the black lipstick and the black all around the eyes, but it does look pretty decent and stuff. And I even like, you can see like some of her teeth there between the lips, so I like the details they sort of put in there. And then their outfit, as I mentioned, the all gray and black looks cool with the nice leather and then like metal maybe here on her chest and stuff, the shoulder pads and bracelets on her forearms. It's kind of weird that they're like this palish gray color and that they just just look very bland and stuff, and the sword's gonna match, so it all kind of stands out as sort of bland and boring. Just belt on with the logo there, which it almost looks like the Aquaman logo to me. The stars going down her legs, and I love like nice texture into the stars there. It looks cool again with the gray and black design running through it all the way down to the boots that are in the same color. So again, that like palish gray color that has some stars there on the side as well. So look wise, especially like for the design, and like the armor piece and stuff don't look the best, but overall she looks good and like Donna Troy as I know her. But for movements, we'll twist the head. I'll see how much I can twist with all the hair. It may be a little difficult. It can go around that way, but it seems like we're starting to get stuck. So you can't really twist too much, but she can look down that far and then up just about that far because of her hair in the back. So not the best movement. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint and rotate around. We get a bicep twist, so right at the bottom of the band, the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself with the wrist that can twist all the way around, and it's kind of hidden down in there, so it's a normal ball joint wrist that can rock back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch, so we have the upper crunch right under chest, crunch back and forth, and really stiff but can twist very little around. And then we get the waist as well, where she crunches and twists mostly there. Then the hips can come up pretty close to 90 and out to the side at least that far, so you can't fully do the splits. Very little thigh twist in there, a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, almost kicking her butt. And then the foot can flex back and forth and twist side to side. Again, has the normal ball joint up in there with the toe joint on the end. So again, relatively standard movements and doesn't have the full range like Nightwing had, but she still works and functions pretty well. Like I said, for her, it's mostly the look, which I think pulls out very well. Like I said, I just wish that armor was a bit more of a different color. Now, accessory wise, of course, she comes with the base, which she's standing perfectly fine now, but her ankles are a little bit weak, so she tends to give out. So over time, we may need to use the base, but as of right now, she's fine. And then she also comes with a weapon of a sword, as I mentioned, in that same color, like the pale gray. So it doesn't really look that good. It needs like a wash and stuff and maybe more details. I mean, they put a lot of details into the sword, but it's just kind of hidden there, which stinks, but overall it looks just fine. So let's put this in her hand. So there she is with the sword. I was going to pose her up with it in both hands, but she only has one grip hand, the other one's a fist, so I can't do that. So I just posed her up like that and got her head twisted as much as I could, but overall looks relatively good there. Good carrying off of Donna Troy. And then we also have her card, so there's a nice picture of her, and I love the reflection of the characters in her bracer there, so that looks cool. Again, from Titans, and her real name is Donna Troy. It says Donna Troy was a vigilante hero in every iteration of Earth's reality. She has fought justice in Teen Titans and their adult incarnation, but her origins have radically shifted in every stance. She discovered the horrific answer. She was not an Amazon, a human mystically empowered, or even a small girl raised and modified by the Titans of myth. After the return of the original Kid Flash, Wally West began unraveling malicious alterations to the time stream. Donna learned that she was not even alive, but a construct of clay animated by magic, the Amazon golem created to destroy Princess Diana if she ever went rogue. So there it kind of feeds into the story I already mentioned. So very cool to have Donna Troy to add to our Titans. And then we've got Raven, which is the daughter and herald of Trigon, where she broke free of her father's influence and came to Earth, where she became a member of the Teen Titans. And she has the powers of astral projection, darkness manipulation, psychokinesis, chronokinesis, teleportation, intangibility, flight, empathy, and of course magic powers. And she looks cool here. So this is one of her, I guess, more modern designs. So she looks a little bit weird and different. Like I prefer like the older style, and when we see her card, like that style of Raven, but she still looks pretty cool here and has a nice cloak over the top, which has a nice texture to it and stuff running all the way through. It's almost like a burlap design up into the hood, and has the classic hood with like the point there sort of covering her face. But I like the look of that with the red hair up in there. I assume you could probably pop this off. It feels like it's connected, so maybe not. The all white pale skin there with the eyes that are all white, like rolled back in her head, but nice like red details around it. Black lipstick, and like I said, that red hair just looks really cool. It just stinks it's all hidden by this hood, and that hood's all clasped together with this like jewel piece and the nice like teal color feathers or whatever these are off to the side. Again, more of that modern Raven look, but looks a little bit weird, but it seems also fit with her. And then she has the all spandex outfit, which looks mostly just all black, but it has the blue section here in the middle, so around on her chest and down the middle. She has a belt around her waist with the red and gold jewels, just like the clasps. And then it looks like the legs turn into a really dark blue, maybe like a dark blue-green color or something, just really dark colors, but there's a difference in there all the way down the feet to the high heels there. So not much color difference between the fairies, just black and the dark blue colors and stuff. But overall, it just looks good and pulls together, where, like I said, for a Raven, it's perfect, but not the Raven I would prefer. But we can do her movements, which I don't know how much her head's going to move. You can't twist. Oh, you can't twist around. So maybe you could pull her head off and maybe get the hood off, but it feels like it's connected. I'm not exactly sure. I'm kind of afraid to try. So I just tried pulling it off, and it does feel it's like all connected, and like where the joint is here is where it's all connected at. So maybe you can't get the head off there, but it does twist all the way around, which is cool, and then does have some rocking back and forth. Not much, but there is some there. The shoulders can come up to 90, again with the butterfly joint. Very little movement, but it does twist. Has a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend pretty much all the way up on itself. A little bit of issues run it into clothing, and the wrist can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Then we have the ab crunches, so right under the chest, so crunch back and forth and twist around, and then at the waist crunch back and forth and twist around. Hips can come up close to 90 and out to the side, can do the splits. Pretty much no thigh twist, but a double knee joint that can bend up that far, almost kicking her butt. And then we get the foot that can rock back and forth, twist side to side, and has the toe joint on the end. So she seems a little bit more awkward, maybe because like she's got thinner joints and stuff, but they seem like real loose, and so trying to move something around, you get other stuff moving at the same time. But overall, I do like the look. Like I said, it's not my preferred Raven, but she does carry off the look I've seen more recently, so that's all that really matters, and I don't really have any issues on top of that with her. Now, accessory wise, of course, she has the base, but I have her standing good right now, but very little movements and she falls over, so have to be careful with that. What's really cool is we get some additional hand pieces, so we have these effects for her magic and stuff, which you actually pop her hands off and pop these on, so need to be careful, but we'll try putting these on. So there's Raven with those magic effects, which don't really work out too well, so you just pop the hands off and pop these in, but you can see there's a big gap around there, and I haven't pushed in as far as they will go, so you just kind of put them on there, and they do have some hand design. I don't know if you can really see that in there with these, but there's like a thumb coming up here, and you see a couple finger like outlines and stuff, so that's really the only way to know which hand they go on. But I think it looks cool just like this, you know, it shows her magic powers being used, but I just wish they would fit on the hands a little bit better and stuff, but they still look pretty good with that splash of pink color in there with the darkness of her outfit and everything. And then we have her card, so there's a picture, again, more of what I picture Raven looking like from Titans there, and around on the back says her real name is Rachel Roth. It says born Rachel Roth, a human mother and demonic father. Raven's entire life has been a balance act between the light and the darkness. Unwilling to succumb to her demonic heritage, she's trained tirelessly to control and master her emotions, studying the mystical arts to become a hero despite whatever destiny the demonic magic in her blood had intended for her. But demons are not so easily abated, and the persistent threat of her father constantly looms over her and whatever team of heroes she's been a part of. So pretty cool to have Raven and fill out more of her backstory there with her father Trigon, which is a common villain of the Titans. So cool to have a Raven now to add into our DC Multiverse collection. And our last basic figure of the wave is Arsenal, also known as Roy Harper, and he was the former Speedy as Green Arrow's sidekick, and he was a member of the original Teen Titans, so brought in by Nightwing again. But he's an extremely skilled archer, acrobat, an expert engineer with mechanics and technology, so he looks decent here. Like, it does look like Red Hood from, like, especially more recently, like Red Hood and Outlaws with the new 52 design, but looking at the figure design here, it kind of stands out really weird and pretty awkward. So with him being a sidekick of Green Arrow, instead of green, he wears all red, so that's why he's got a lot of red going on here. And so he's got the hat on, which again is part of the newer design, where he's got this hat. It usually, I think, has a logo, but this one's plain. But I like how it's even got the little strap designs with his red hair sort of sticking out the top, and the eye covering that look like glasses there with the bright red and the dark maroon color, and same that's going to be throughout the body. So we have this darker maroon color, almost brown, up around like on his shoulders, around his waist, and it kind of connects all the way through there, runs down the legs all the way to the feet, and he's got the red midsection. So here it looks like he's wearing like a sports bra or something, so it looks like, you know, covering his chest and going up over the shoulder, so that kind of looks awkward, and once you see that, it just kind of stands out so much, so it's really hard to really look at this figure just because of that standing out. But that continues down his center all the way down the thighs and stuff there. Then the belt around the waist again has like an arrowhead logo design there with the pockets all the way around on the belt there, which is cool. It's got an elbow pad and fingerless gloves. Again, the design running all the way down the legs. I like the little side pockets on each side there all the way down to the boots, and overall this looks pretty cool. And he also has some tattoos, so he has poison with a scorpion, and then a little like head skull thing, and then a skull with some wings, so like he's dead. So he's a little more edgy with those tattoos and everything. And of course, if you've known the story of Roy Harper, he became addicted to drugs and everything. So this is him after coming back from all that. So pretty cool to have him, but like I said, I wish just the body could look a little bit better, but this is how he looked in the comics, so it's hard to really complain too much about that. But we can do the movement, so his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so a little bit of movements back and forth. Shoulders up to 90. Should have the butterfly joint, but it's kind of like stuck or just not moving because of the outfit design, so no movements for him, but can rotate around. We get a bicep twist, the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself with the wrist that'll twist all the way around and flex up and down. Then we get the ab crunch right in the middle there, crunch back and forth and twist around, and then at the waist crunch back and forth and twist around. Hips can come up under 90 and out to the side, close to doing the splits. No real thigh twist for him, but a double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back back again, not far from kicking his butt, with the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So he's not the best and has some minor issues, but it's still cool to have an arsenal. Now, accessory wise, of course, comes with the base plate just like they all do, but he's standing just fine. But then he, of course, has to come with his bow and arrow accessory. So for arrows, we do get a little quiver here to go on his back. So nice design and details again in the brown color there with some arrows. Again, it's just a group of arrows that are kind of stuck down in here. So I like how they include the arrows, but you can't use them or anything. So I don't know why they just don't mold them into the thing and maybe fill it out a little bit more. But I love the red feathers there on the end of the arrows and stuff. And we have a peg that we can pop into his back. So there's the quiver with arrows. And then we also get his bow. So it's a nice reef curve bow and the all red design with the white strings and stuff. Of course, the strings look a little bit flimsy and all bent up, but we can try and put this into his hand. And of course, without him having any arrows, it's kind of hard to really get him posed up. But there I got him with the bow in his hand and starting to pull back the string. So overall, looks pretty cool. And finally, we have his card. So there's a picture of him. Of course, a younger version of him with a much better outfit design. So it would have been cooler if we got that version. But again, from Titans. And on the back, of course, real name Roy Harper. It says, adopted by a Navajo shaman named Brave Bow, orphan Roy Harper spent his early teens learning survival skills and becoming a crack archer. He learned so quickly, he eventually earned the nickname Speedy. Making his way to Seattle, Roy served as costume sidekick and mechanical engineer to millionaire Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow. In addition to battling alongside the Emerald Archer, Roy was a founding member of the Teen Titans, so there's a little more explanation there. And overall, looks pretty good. Like I said, I just hate the outfit design, but still really cool to get an arsenal. And that brings us to our Build-A-Figure of Beast Boy. His real name is Garfield Logan, and he contracted a rare disease while living with his scientist parents in Africa. So his father used an untested experiment of African green monkey, which had a natural immunity to this sickness, to kill the disease, but the serum ended up turning his skin, eyes, and hair all green with the ability to metamorph into any animal. So he can gain the physical abilities, attributes, and characteristics of any animal he turns into. Overall, looks cool for Beast Boy. So he's got the all green skin and fur, so you can see the fur running through him, and especially with his face there. So I like how he's got the big lower teeth there that are sticking out of the all white eyes, and of course, like I said, maybe the more like apish looking face, or like I said, just some big beast form of some sort with the sideburns come down, his long pointy ears, and his green hair there all like flopped up and stuff. So that looks nice again with the green fur on his shoulders and forearms there on both sides. He's got claws there, so long green claws there on his hands and down on the feet as well with the furry legs coming down. So just looks cool, like I said, with a nice spandex outfit there that probably can change with his size and everything. As the white color up top, you can see that texture running all through there into the smooth red, and then the textured black again running down. So he just looks really cool, and he's a big hulking figure. So when we put all the figures here at the end, you'll see how big he is, and just looks awesome. But let's do movement. So his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and then up just about that far. So not the best range. Shoulders can come up to 90 with the butterfly joint. So I like the big, nice loose joint there. So nice big range and can rotate around. We get a bicep twist, the single elbow joint that can bend over 90 and pretty far up there, which is good. And then the wrist can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. It's got an ab crunch in the middle, so crunch back and forth. Again, very little crunching, but can crunch back and forth and twist very little side to side. And then same at the waist, so crunch back and forth, very little for him, but can twist all the way around there. The hips can come up about that far. I'm trying to push it higher, but that's about as far as it goes with the underwear piece. And then out to the side, looks like he's close to doing the splits. Has a little bit of a thigh twist, but a double knee joint that can bend up at least that far, which is much better than most big figures like this. But the biggest issue with this figure is that his ankles are real stiff, so like I can barely get them to move. I can, but then like pop, say like back if you bend them down, and then it's stuck there, so then I have to try and force it back and keep pitching my finger. So it's really stiff in the ankle, so it stinks that they're so stiff, but they can twist side to side and have the toe joint on there, and it's just that flex back and forth, like the detents or whatever on the joint are just real stiff and hard to move. So unfortunately, I can't really do that without feeling like I'm going to break something. So I'm just going to leave it like that since he stands flat and stands there nice and perfect just without it. So he doesn't have the best movements ever, but that's kind of typical with the big Build-A-Figures like this. But overall, he works and functions really good. A nice big hulking figure. It's just really cool to have Beast Boy like this. Of course, they're releasing like the normal Beast Boy figure as like a gold label or whatever, so have to be on the lookout for that, and hopefully it's not too hard to find. But it's just really cool having him in the big form here, and I think he'll fit well with the rest of the Titans. So there's all of our Titans together of Nightwing, Donna Troy, Arsenal, Raven, and like Beast Boy there in the back. So all of those look really cool together. And of course, we do have at least one more figure we can add in here that belongs with the Titans. So we can add Wally West in here as well, just fit him in since this version sort of belongs with the Titans as well. So cool to be able to add him in with this version of the Titans. So overall, a pretty cool wave. It's awesome to get 4 of the main Titans figures as well as Big Beast Boy there as the Build-A-Figure, and just overall really cool wave. I wish they did more like these of like sets with Build-A-Figures. I just wish more things like Nightwing came with his sticks and everything, but still they all look really cool. So it's really hard to complain about that when they look as cool as they do, especially here together. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.